Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Biz Tips. So, guys, last year I stumbled on YouTube across this young lady. I was so impressed by what she was doing in the government contracting space. I'm telling you, I was blown away. It's like almost every person she spoke with, there were a testimonial of how she helped them make money with government contract. So I'm like, I gotta bring her here. I have to have her as a guest on the pod. Kizzy, what's up?
Hi, how are you? Thank you. That was such a nice thing to say.
Thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate you. So before we start, who is Kizzy?
Wow, who is Kizzy? Well, today Kizzy's a gorgeous, beautiful woman living in Mexico.
Ah,
That's who
enjoy.
Kizzy is. Lives in Mexico, Tulum, Mexico. It's a glorious day, and
Nice.
that's who she is. Grateful, thankful, in my purpose.
Mm, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. So I'm curious, right? Because when I saw on YouTube and saw the testimonial, you're known as the government contracting queen.
Mhm.
How'd you get into that?
No, it's a very interesting space. It's kind of like there used to be an Olympian who worked for me and
Mm,
she did skeleton. And it was like, I was like, what is skeleton? It's a winter sport for
uh-huh.
those listening or watching or like, what is she talking
What is
about?
that?
It's kind of in the same family as bobsled. And so I was like, how did you get into it? And she talked about her history with softball and all these things.
Mhm.
It's one of those things like that, like a sport where we're like, what? That's a sport? Like, oh, there's an Olympic medal for skateboard. And yes, there is,
Yeah.
So government contracting was similar. I didn't know about it.
Hmm.
I was in graduate school and the research uh, department at Patrick, at the time, Air Force Base, they were
Mm,
looking for graduate students. I wanted to make money. I wanted to also kind of serve in my own way
yeah.
and work for the government. It was interesting how they paid me, but that's for another time. So basically, I responded to their request for a graduate research fellow. I became,
Hmm.
and that's how I got into the space. And then
Mm,
there, I mean, honestly, it was really God sent, God's plan. Because when I was finishing up my PhD, the director of research, he came to me in the hall and he's like, Kizzy, I heard you're graduating soon. And I want you to stay on as a contractor.
huh.
And I, well, what is a contract? I was saying in my head, like, what is that? What does this mean? I don't even know what this means. And he said, how much is that going to cost me? How much is that going to cost me?
Wow.
And I threw out a number a little less than six figures. And he's like, "Ah, okay." He got super excited and his eyes lit up. And so that was a long time ago. That was almost 20 years.
Wow. Do you think you went too low?
No, not at all. Not at all, because it's every single thing that happens is
Mm,
for a reason.
mm,
Every single thing that happens in our life.
yeah.
And so it was a beautiful experience because he didn't make that offer just to me. He brought
Mhm.
on several grad students who were becoming
Nice.
doctors, so and so's. And I was the only one who took it and today I have over 100 people who work for me.
Wow. Let's talk
Just
about
like,
that.
yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome. I saw somewhere you were able to secure like 75 million in government contract. Like, first, tell us about like you. I'm a small business owner. There's a bunch of small business owner that listen to this podcast. Sometimes we don't think government contracting is for us. Tell us more about that. What's that? What is that like? And why should small business owner even think about it?
Well, it begins with understanding, I mean, really, like you said, why it is for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't count yourself out.
Mm.
if you think, and some may think this,
Yeah.
oh, it's too hard, too much paperwork. Why would they select me? Do they buy what I sell? And aren't I going to put up a lot of money?
Mm.
You know, there's a lot of these kind of thoughts that may run across one's head. So let's
Yeah.
go back to me. I was a grad student. I didn't have money. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have a business. I didn't have a business bank account. He
Wow.
didn't say, okay, we'll go do all these things and then maybe. The thing that the government wants is exactly what Dr. Dan McDonnell wanted at that time. He wanted a solution to his problem.
Mm.
The solution to his problem was somebody with a PhD to help him with a task that he needed that he put on a contract, and I was subcontracted. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
All of that means is the government wants a solution to their problem. So if you're listening and you're willing to sell what they need, then
Yeah.
you are the solution. So the solution could be they are buying mannequins, for instance. They
Mm.
buy something they're buying recently. They buy staffing, they buy products, they buy,
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody just won some kind of $800,000 contract for alarms, or I think alarms or inspecting alarms in buildings. There's
Wow.
janitorial, there's lawn maintenance. There's a woman won a contract for a rental space, and she rents out the booths for a hair salon, because what do military members get? Haircut.
Wow.
You know, so the beauty in this space and why I love federal government contracting and state is you don't have to have expertise.
Yeah.
I don't have expertise in a lot of topics,
Mm-hmm.
including the one I received my first subcontract on. So it's about you being willing to sell it. I mean, look at Amazon. Was
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos a book publisher? No, he wasn't.
He just started selling books.
He just knew. He knew. The gentleman who started Zappos, where you buy shoes, if you buy shoes on
Yeah.
Amazon,
Tony Shea.
right, which was then started by this young guy. He had the idea. He started testing it. He created a
Mm-hmm.
website. He would buy shoes from like Foot Locker,
Yeah.
because at that time people were like, I'm not going to buy shoes online. And then he was like, no, I think people will. And but he wasn't in shoes. There's a great book on this. He actually brought in like a shoe sales guy from like a Penny's, Sears, to
Mm-hmm.
help them with it. You don't have to have the expertise and the knowledge. You have to have what you already have, those of you listening and watching. You have to have that entrepreneurial spirit
Mm-hmm.
and those entrepreneurial skills to then say, oh, they want kitchen supplies. I can figure that out. Why can't you sell
Mm.
supplies? Why? Amazon sells Doritos.
Huh. I I want to go further here, right? First, where do people find those potential opportunities? Is there like a platform, a marketplace? Because I'm pretty sure people say, okay, where do I find all this stuff? And then if I don't have the expertise, what do I do? Do I go hire somebody? How do I do that?
So, no, these are great questions. You find them on sam.gov, like Uncle Sam, and it's
You mean SAM?
Sam, like a
Okay.
guy, girl's name, they name, Sam,
Perfect.
sam.gov. That's the same place you register. It's free. I have a great video that walks you through on registering for SAM on
Nice.
my YouTube channels. Check it out. So go on sam.gov and you can see all of the opportunities at the federal level. And I have a lot of free content that walks you through it. That's where
Nice.
most of them are. And you don't
Gotcha.
have to have a set aside. That's the other misnomer is, oh, if you're Black, you can get all these set asides. I'm like, what? Okay, no. If you're, Hispanic, you're going to get this. If you're a vet, you're going to clean up. And what I find about that is always like the person who says these things that you should question any advice they ever give you.
Mm.
So that's not how it works. all you need to do is register your business. Most of you listening, your small business, this whole,
Yeah.
what you created, this beautiful ecosystem is targeting small business owners. So you just sign up, you're going to automatically be a small business. So then a Lockheed Martin, Parsons, Raytheon, they can't compete against you.
Mm.
So you've narrowed the competition. So then if you decide, well, why couldn't I sell janitorial? Why couldn't I sell linen services? A guy hopped on my live the other day on TikTok,
Yeah.
and he won a contract for linen services for a readiness center. So he has subcontracted to a company who then
Gotcha.
the sheets, the towels, all of that. I think they do it every week,
Mm-hmm.
and then he makes his margin. Who here couldn't do that? Why couldn't you
Yeah.
do
You just serve as the middleman.
that?
I love it. Wow. Now, let me ask you, you mentioned something earlier about it could be a lot of paperwork, right? People sometimes are afraid of that. What are your thoughts on it?
Not.
Okay.
That's a myth. People think, oh, it's a lot of paperwork. It's not a lot of paperwork. Sometimes in life, people tell us things because they don't
Yeah.
want to get it.
Mm.
They don't, what is the, you know, you think about, I mean, I'm trying to think of how to best say this without sounding appropriate or low brow, but you got to think about not just slavery. You can think about slavery because it's probably easiest, but you think about situations where powers that be don't want groups of people to succeed. What is the
Mm.
number one thing they do? They take away education.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to read or write. They don't want you to be on technology because that's evil. You can't be on the internet. You got to listen and read what we tell you to listen and read to. And there's lots
Mm.
of groups today that do this.
It's true. Wow.
And so when you take away education from a person, then that means they have to rely on somebody else for knowledge.
Mm.
And so when somebody says, oh, it's a lot of paperwork, okay, it's this, then they're in essence trying to say to you, don't do any of that. You should come to me. I'm the one with the solution. And I say that's not the case at all because God is the one with the solution.
100%.
And so all you have to do is this thing called reading and writing. And
Yeah.
we're very lucky today because we have this beautiful thing called AI. So
Yes.
Chat GPT, you can go into Chat GPT, and if you need, you can use Chat GPT. And how many hours?
Mm.
Those watching and listening, be honest with yourselves. How many hours do you spend scrolling on
On
TikTok,
Instagram, on TikTok, that's
Instagram,
right.
Snapchat,
Yeah.
Facebook, Facebook groups, Pinterest?
Mm-hmm.
We have no problem scrolling and spending and knowing everything about Cardi B and her divorce or the Olympics or what's going on with politicians or
Mm-hmm.
TMZ, media takeout, Hollywood Unlocked. We have no problem being aware of all of that. But Sam.gov, oh my goodness. This, this is so hard. Oh, this is so hard. No, it's not. You just want to be broke, huh?
Mm.
Just admit,
Ooh.
just admit
Ooh,
it.
you speaking truth today. I love
Just
it.
admit it. Just say you don't want money.
Mm. I love
Just say
it.
you want easy money. Just say you don't want to put in time. Because it's better if you are honest with yourself, because
Yeah.
those are things that can be worked on.
Yeah. No, this is deep. I want to kind of transition a little bit. You mentioned you have about 100 people working for you. Tell us more about your business. How do you have it structured right now?
Well, this is good. So I have team members all over the world,
Uh-huh.
all over the world. I have contracts in Hawaii, throughout most states, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, all over. And then
Mm.
I have also team members, Mogies in the UK. I have my team Egypt in Egypt. And oh, we had a sales guy in the UK too for a little
Oh,
bit. Yeah. So here's how we have this structured.
yeah.
Majority of the people work virtually. Like what they do, they go out to do it.
Yeah.
For instance, they inspect vape shops. So one of our big contract is for inspecting vape tobacco shops. Then I have a segment of my amazing team who works from home.
Mm.
Whatever it is that they do, it could be training, it could be surveys,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, they do it from home. Then I have a segment that goes to the place. Like I have an exercise physiologist. We have
Oh,
several
wow.
people who support chapels. We have people who support go in person for the USDA. We also will have what I call like one-offs. We
Mm-hmm.
have different training engagements. So my team recently provided acquisition law courses to an agency. So we'll do that. Like there's these other groups of courses called Escalade that we're doing. So those are
Wow.
one-offs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
have the work, people do it. So how it's all managed is I have a director of getting things done who oversees it. I have HR, I have legal, um, all of that. But
Yeah.
what's most important is I've evolved as a leader. I
Mm-hmm.
trust myself, I trust my team. And we're also in the middle of doing a lot of really exciting things and evolving what we do.
Nice. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, so it's not hard to manage so many people. What's hard is going through your own stuff to trust, because what people will say is,
Mm.
how do you trust people who you can't see? How do you
Mm-hmm.
know in another state are working? Well, if you have kids, how do you trust your kids at state? Like it begins with yourself.
Yeah.
Usually people who say that, and y'all already know this, you're controlling, you got a lot of inner child work you got to do, inner teen work you got to do,
Mm.
and it comes from insecurity. And I know because that's what I used to do.
Mm. Wow. Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Growing this business, what has been, I guess, you know, two of your biggest lessons over the past 10 years?
There's been a lot of lessons.
Give us
You know,
just two.
the biggest lessons have been, initially, I always was looking for an answer. I thought, I don't know if you may want to call it imposter syndrome, but it was worse than that.
Mm.
It was this pedestal syndrome. Well, clearly this person knows what they're doing. I'm gonna put them on a pedestal, and there's got to be an answer. And at the time, I lived in Melbourne, Florida, and
Yeah.
unbeknownst to people, Orlando is not only home to Mickey, but home to a lot of government contractors and government agencies.
Huh, I'm in Orlando right now.
There's a ton in Research Park. There's a ton. There's so much work, so many groups. It's a huge hub for government contracting.
Hmm.
And so I came across all of these people. They would say, like, you need to have a building. I was like, okay, you need to get these kind of contracts. Okay, is that what I'm supposed to do? I guess, given my start of like, hey, Kizzy, we want to keep
Yeah.
you. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I kept thinking there was this magic thing or person or pills, kind of like with dieting. I thought that was the biggest mistake because it was really a Dorothy moment. And the answer was
Mm.
really inside me, had nothing to do with other people.
Yeah.
And then the other biggest lesson is of recent. So the recent lesson has really been I'm trying to think of how to best phrase it. It's been one of surrender.
What do you mean?
I always knew from every course, I was really fortunate enough to take various courses at Rollins that they had for business owners.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was in the Athena program, and if any of you are listening from the Orlando area, please apply for the Athena program. It was beautiful. I was in the Athena program. I read a ton of books. I attended a lot of CEO lectures at Rollins. And one
Mm-hmm.
thing I learned time and time again is as an owner operator, you take the business to a certain level.
Yeah.
Then you need someone, something, or an investor to take you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew this, right? I always knew this. And there was never the right person or
Mm.
in reality, I wasn't the right person, right? Because we're always thinking, oh, I got to find the right person. No, the mirror was like, no, baby girl, you got to change here.
Wow.
So I have grown a lot in a very fast time here in Tulum, Mexico. And one of the things I did several months ago is I really surrendered. I did this ice bath. It was amazing. It wasn't
Yeah.
just a Kevin Hart ice bath. It was like a whole Tulum ice bath, right? It was
It's
amazing.
real.
Real. Like it was amazing. And so throughout this journey, I ended up connecting with someone who now is my business partner. But I knew and I knew
Mm.
this person is going to transform everything. This
Wow.
is the person to take me to the next level, but not them, us, a collective.
Yeah.
Because often as a small business owner, again, we're looking for who is that thing? What is that
Yeah.
thing
Yeah. Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
grow me, get me all this money? I don't want to do this. I want to go on a vacation, you know, like I want to go to Jamaica. I want to go Cancun, whatever. And it's like, that's been the biggest lesson. It's not about the person. It's not even about the collective we.
Yeah.
It's about what it represents and what my business partner is constantly doing that further builds me. So my business partner will be like, you know, you have a business partner now. You can focus on your channel. You can focus
Yeah.
on this. You can take as much time as you need to rest your voice, Kizzy, because I recently had surgery. He
Mm-hmm.
can he does these things and it's amazing. And here's what's happened. Literally yesterday, he said, go back through your sales. He's like, go back through your sales for XYZ time period.
Yeah.
Let's compare it to XYZ time period. And I said, easy. We have Thrivecart for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
3X, 3X increase. And we've
Mm.
only been working together not even 6 months.
Oh, wow. That's a big change in a very short time.
So that's been one of the most important lessons because it's surrender, is beyond trust, is definitely God, and is
Yeah.
also the power of manifesting, which I do a lot of. So, and today's Lionsgate, so there's a lot of good manifesting today. So those are the biggest lessons,
I
you know,
love
those
it.
are the biggest lessons.
So to kind of wrap things up, right? Because we have a lot of small biz tip owners that listen to us. What is that one small biz tips that you would share with anyone that you think can benefit them?
I mean, you honestly, the biggest one as of right now, it's like a two-parter because they go
Okay.
together.
Okay.
You have to believe in yourself and you have to manifest. If you're too busy, oh man, people only buy during the season. Oh man, there's construction and nobody sees the sign to my business. Oh man, an election year and nobody's buying from me, then guess what you're going to get? You're
Nothing.
not going to get buyers.
Yeah.
I do not watch the news. I do. I watch YouTube.
Me
I
too.
Yeah, I watch YouTube. I don't watch the news. I'll check in on the news here in Tulum, Cancun, just so I'm aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
The other day, I went on a news network and was like, "What is happening?" I was like, it was like doom and gloom, and I was like, "What in the world?" Because I don't live like that. I don't
Yeah.
experience. I see abundance everywhere.
Hmm.
Here in Mexico, there's abundance, there's government contracts, there's people buying things from me at GovCon Winners, winnerswaybook.com. There's abundance. So
Yeah.
if you think and you take in scarcity, then you're over. So that's the biggest tip.
Wow. I love it. So I know you got the book. Show us the book again. Tell us a bit more about it,
Winners,
because
the book is amazing. If you're like, I don't know anything about government contracting, but I want what she has, this is where you
get this
start.
book. Got
Get this
it.
book. Go to winnerswaybook.com, winnerswaybook.com, or to get how to win government contracts easier than trying to do it alone, you can also get it on Amazon. So
Nice.
take a look. I have a lot of other offerings, but this is a great place to start. I
Yeah.
have over 700 videos.
Yes. Guys, you got to check our YouTube out. It's amazing. It's like a master class. I'm telling you, it's better than an MBA program. So thank you for jumping on. How do people reach you if they want to find you or, work with you?
Let's see, get the book.
Yeah.
You can you can personally email me. That's the best way. I mean, of course, you can contact Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, but you can send me an email, K Parks, like Kizzy Parks, K Parks at KPC Inc., like INC. So K Parks at kpcinc.com. Send me an email, say you listened, and I'll
Awesome.
probably cut you a deal on some things if that's
I
what you
love
want.
it.
At the
Guys,
yes,
reach
guys.
out to her. I'm telling you, it's gold mine. Thank you for jumping on, Kizzy. This was amazing. Thank you again for your time.